Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to another KCON recap episode. Oh my God.
Oh, it's been so long since we've been able to do one of these.
I know. Finally back. KCON is back.
Yeah, for the first time in person since the world ended.
Yeah.
And it was back bigger and better than ever in many ways.
For sure. So we have so much to cover that we're actually going to give you 2 episodes this week.
Yes.
I think concert episode will wait till Friday just so I'm not editing till 3 a.m. But we'll have double content for you this week. And I'm so excited to talk about it because we had a blast and we did more KCON than we've ever done before.
Absolutely. We usually, I think, are pretty lazy when it comes to the convention side of things, and we tend to stick to the convention floor, and we've never really taken advantage of the panels and the workshops that KCON always has every year. But this time we really made a point to look at the schedule, make a plan of all the things we wanted to see. And yeah, it was a jam-packed 3 days for us, for sure.
Absolutely. And so I guess we'll just get into a chronological recap of how our weekend went and finish it off with some final thoughts about the 10th anniversary of KCON in LA. And yeah, so Friday morning, we got there a little late because we went to 17 on Wednesday.
Yes.
So this was a very long K-pop week for us.
You
like
guys,
longer than ever.
We were not prepared for the stamina that this would require.
Yeah.
But we also we went hard at 17 as we always do. And so Thursday was a sad day of recovery. And then Friday, we were not up. We had not fully recharged. No. Let's just say that. So we got ourselves to KCON eventually, though.
Yes, we did.
And we spent Friday kind of just getting a lay of the land because the concert, as always, was on Saturday and Sunday. And the sort of bigger main events tend to be saved for those days of the convention as well. So we started by, I think, just going around the floor, right?
I'm trying to remember, but I think that sounds right. Like we picked up our badges, went and found the press room where we could hang and get coffee and put our shit down.
And look at the schedule.
And look at the schedule.
Make our plan
So
for
we made
Saturday
a plan.
and Sunday.
And then then I think we wandered down to the actual convention floor, which was the biggest, craziest, like most elaborate convention floor I've ever seen at KCON.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. So the convention floor was in the same space that it always is, but on the left-hand side, there was the huge McDonald's truck, and then there was this enormous sector of K-beauty,
right?
Like a huge little, like a whole Macy's makeup section,
yes.
essentially. Like it was so big. And then in the middle of the convention floor, they had like a lot of interactive booths. So that's where like Toyota had something called the Music Garage, which it had a little stage and they did a lot of random plays there. And then there was an actual stage like in the middle. I don't remember what that was called, but they did like a relay dance challenge there. And then there was this whole setup in the middle that was like an ISAC games maze where you would go in. They had games at a certain time throughout the day, and you would go in, wait in a very long line. You got to make your own little ISAC bib, and then you got to compete in different games. Like one of them looked kind of like a cornhole, and another one was like you and somebody else were standing on like wobbly platforms, and you had to like knock each other off with their fans. And that looked really fun. We didn't participate in that, but we just sort of observed it from the sidelines. And then on the right hand of the convention center were the merch booths.
Right.
So there was like official KCON merch, and then they also had different tables, like Choice Music had a table. There was one whole table that was just BTS stuff. I don't know like what company that was. I don't think it was like an official Hybe table or anything like that. And
There was
what
a
else
big
was over
titty
there?
gang merch
Yep,
table where they had a giant blown up version of our friend Natalie's article about big titty gang.
And you could buy sweatshirts with BTG on it. And apparently Big Matt's mom was working a booth somewhere on the convention floor too, and would have loved to ask her what she thinks about her son's titty legacy. But then in the back of the convention, they had a huge stage set up. And there was the Berklee Conservatory of Music, which is or the Berklee College of Music, which is a school in Boston, has a dance conservatory as well, apparently, which is something I didn't know. But they had a performance that they did, like, I think they did it at least once every day.
Yeah, we saw it 3 separate times throughout the convention, but it was like they had one of the dancers on the team had choreographed a piece that was called like Art of K-pop or something, and it was like a bunch of different K-pop songs, and they were not doing the choreo that the groups do. They were doing their own choreographed things, and there was so much like big beautiful legs, and they were like lifting each other, and it was like
it
dance.
was amazing. It was so dynamic and beautiful and fun, and I'm glad we got to see it 3 times. But then in another corner, like behind the beauty stuff, there was this other, it was like, it wasn't a stage because it wasn't raised, but it like had a curtain and a big screen, and some of the idol groups like did go, like where we saw the Light Some Selfie Envy thing, but I don't know what that was for. There were a lot of new things at the convention this year that we couldn't find like a little booklet we've online or in person that would like give us a summary of every single...
like what's the difference between a star stage and a selfie stage and a dream stage, and it was like all these little like buzzwordy things, but I didn't
no
really know what the
explanation
difference
of
between
what they
any
were.
of them were.
Yeah, exactly. So there were some things that we like didn't go to see because we had no idea what they were, and we just kind of found out about it afterward. But yeah, so that was our Friday, really. And then
we still had one more thing that we did on Friday that was very cool, which was when we went back upstairs to go to the press room, we passed Amber from FX was giving a panel.
Right.
And we got to sneak in the back even though it was full because we had press badges. And the lady at the door was like, well, you can come in, which was very nice.
That was very cool. So we caught the end of Amber's prepared speech. She had the room for an hour. And so we didn't catch the beginning of it, so I don't know like how she started the whole thing. But the tail end that we caught was about mental health. And she talked about how like for a very long time in her life, she just didn't ever feel happiness. And she talked a little bit about her journey of now, like she does, and she has gone to therapy, and she does a lot of like mindfulness and like intention and trying to be intentional about her day. And so she was kind of just talking about all the different ways that she learned to find joy in her life. And then she opened it up to a Q&A with the audience, which was really fun. And we got a lot of really fun tidbits of information. We know that she still talks to FX.
Of course.
She talks a lot about how like in her heart, you know, she would always be open to the idea of any kind of reunion, but she was really thrilled to see the way that all the members are thriving individually. Like Victoria's in China acting, Crystal's in Korea acting, like Luna is about to open on Broadway. And so she was like, I'm just so happy with where all of us are right now. But, you know, of course, like I love FX and would always be willing to get back together. And that was so lovely. That was so lovely.
It was so lovely to just like, to hear her talk about them. And like, I don't know, it was sweet. And somebody asked her like, what were her favorite FX songs? And she said her favorite FX song to listen to is Airplane. And the best song to perform is Step. Yes. So fun insight there.
She also talked about how somebody asked her what was I think they asked her like when did she feel like she had made it, and she rephrased it to say like what was her most rewarding moment of like feeling like she was successful. And she said when they got to do their solo FX concert, because they only got one concert after like 7 years of being together, but that the song had, or the concert had a 32 song set list, and that only 2 of them were like sit down and sing songs. And so she was like, it was crazy and so tiring, but it was an incredible experience and one that I would like happily do all over again. Somebody also asked her, you know, what advice she would give to idols, and she said, get a therapist. And remember that not everything has to happen at once, which I thought was good advice for everybody, to be honest. And then somebody called her out because she's a very like online, she has a very big online presence. She Twitches and live streams and does V lives or Instagram lives all the time. And I guess at some point in one of her lives, she had made a joke about her being like an egg yolk expert. And so somebody asked her to do some modern day egg yolk. So she like cringed and didn't want to do it at first, and then turned it to the audience to be like, well, what do idols even do these days? Like, what are the modern egg yolk things? And someone told her about this like new
that underhanded
down
V that you
V
stick your arm all the way
people
out that the
do.
like Japanese idols have introduced.
Yeah. And then we taught her.
This was like a moment that I'm still like kind of like reeling about, because I feel like Shannon 9 years ago wouldn't have ever even believed that this could have happened. But we were just like standing near the back, and I was doing the heart burger where you put your hands in a circle and then chomp it into a heart that I've seen people doing. And she just like looked straight at us and was like, what are you doing? What is that? What is that? And so we were just like showing her, and she was like, are you biting down? Because we had masks on.
Yeah.
But then she like, I don't know, we taught her how to do it. And she was like, that was actually pretty cute. Like, I don't mind that one.
Yes,
and
she liked that one.
And I was just like in disbelief. I was like, wow, I was just like making eye contact with and having like a moment with Amber from FX. Like I kind of couldn't believe it.
She found us in the crowd.
Yeah.
And said, what are you doing?
It was very cool.
Oh, it was very cool. It was very cool. But yeah, that was sort of the main event, I think, of our Friday. And then we did go back down to the convention floor, and we saw the end of what was on the program called Lightsum's Selfie MV. And this was in that back stage that wasn't a stage because it wasn't raised
at
up.
all. Yeah.
And so, but it had like a curtain and, like I said, a big TV screen above it. And so we just saw like this big crowd of people. And I don't know what the whole event was, but Lightsum had come out in front of this curtain, and they were holding like a selfie camera. And so every once in a while, like they, I guess, filmed some sort of little selfie MV with like the crowd there, and you could see the footage on the TV above the curtain. But that was the only like glimpse of Lightsum.
I couldn't see them at all because they were so little, and all the people crowded around and holding up their phones. It was like, I guess they're back there, but you couldn't even see the tops of their heads. They were just like back there. But another thing that we saw on Friday that I thought was really cool, a very cool booth, M Countdown had set up like booth that was like a whole little experience where it was like people went in and then they like,
it was a be your own ending fairy.
Be your own ending fairy.
Like, tagline or
and it was like, it seemed like every person was getting to go in and then like pick a song. And then they had a little raised up stage with like the M Countdown background going it, or they changed it to like Girls Planet. Like I think you could change the background to like whatever thing you were emulating. And then they played like the last 30 seconds of the song, and all the people who went up, like this one girl was in like a full outfit, did like this whole dance, and then these little girls went after and they did sneakers, and then they like filmed you, and it was on the big camera because there was like a guy with a whole big camera, and everyone around the booth could see what was like on the stage. And then you do your ending fairy, and then when they got off the stage, they handed them an M Countdown trophy and they got to take a picture with it.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. So there were a lot more like official interactive activities to do on the convention floor, and that was really exciting. And I know there were also a ton of raffles and stuff.
Oh yeah, always.
And then there were also a lot of competitions, which we didn't really get a chance to like see them play out until I think the second day. But one of the stages, I'm just going to talk about it now
Sure,
because
yeah.
it did happen on starting Friday. But there was one stage like right in the middle of the convention floor that was kind of behind that like Toyota Music Garage one where they were doing the random play. And this is where they had a relay dance competition. And we only saw a little bit of it, but there were like groups
Teams
that had
in
teams
full like matching outfits, like
that had practiced
teams.
a song or like something specific. Because I think, if I remember correctly, the relay dance challenges were for specific artists
I think
that
so.
were there at KCON. So the teams had prepared. And then they had a whole setup with a real big camera and a huge screen
that
in
you
one
could
of
see
the
from
corners.
across the
Yeah,
whole thing.
from the whole way. And they just filmed like an M2 relay dance. And I don't know what the prize was for that competition.
But it seemed tournament style because on the schedule it would be like round 2, like finals.
Yeah.
So like I think they were getting to like keep doing it all weekend till they found a winner or whatever.
And then we never saw this play out, but I think it took place on the same stage, which was that they had, I know Gravity had one and I know Kepler had one. And I think
I believe it was Luna for Sunday.
Luna did another one too. It was called Dream Stage. And this was a really cool thing that would like I know the Kepler, I'm sure they were all like 3 hours, but it was like Dream Stage Kepler from 10 to 1. And what ended up happening is that on that stage, they held another little competition, but this wasn't for teams, it was for individuals. And so the individuals would dance to a Kepler song or a Gravity song or whatever. They learned the choreo to something specific. And then they competed for a chance to dance with the idols. And so like the Kepler stage, the girls, whoever won that stage, like Kepler came out and danced with them like at the finale, like to announce the winners. And then the winners got to dance with them later at the concert.
On the stage at the Crypto.com arena.
It was crazy. It was so cool. And then like the Gravity Boys, like they played the same night as Kepler and they didn't bring people out onto the stage, but I know that their prize was to film a TikTok with them. And that was something that they did like at the Dream stage, like after the finales when the winners were announced or whatever. And that's new. Like I've never seen that before. And that was really cool. There were a lot of instances where the idols were on the convention floor more than it felt like in the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like that was happening a little in like 2019, but it was definitely like amped up to 10 for this one. The amount of just like idols being around on the regular convention floor, which is very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
So yeah, I think that was all that we did on Friday.
Yes.
We went home to try to go to bed early so that we could rally for 2 more days.
Yeah, we did. All right, so Saturday we started and we went to an event called Journey Through the Music Industry, and that was a panel. So Saturday and Sunday we like had little panels.
Yeah, we
that
just had things we wanted to do.
to see and to just figure out what it was. And this Journey Through the Music Industry was a panel with different hip hop artists and rappers and songwriters. It was a Chinese artist named Zhen Zhu, an LA artist and rapper Junoflow and G2, and then David Youngin Kim, who was a producer. And it was all their first time at KCON. And Junoflow was a name that we recognized because he talked about it in the panel, but he was signed to a Korean label and did spend some time in Korea.
He has a song with Boa.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Show Me the Money.
Yeah. And that's where he met G2, who was the other guy that was at the panel. And they like have since become like a duo, I guess. Maybe not officially, but they collaborate a lot.
Buds.
And they're friends. And so, yeah, the panel was just sort of about their journey through the music industry, like how they got started and then where they are now. And like Zhenju was saying that she's still very much at the beginning of her career. And then they opened it up to a Q&A, which was interesting, but it was something where the artists that like we didn't know who they were. So we didn't ask any questions. We were just there to observe.
But it was it was a little different because they're not like K-pop
Right.
idols. They're just like Koreans in the music industry because Youngin, who was great, and like everything he said was like a motivational poster. Like
It was so
he
funny.
was so
Oh my God.
encouraging and it was great. Like everything he said was like a little tidbit you could put on a poster.
Yeah, he had so many phrases that I was like, this sounds like like it just is a t-shirt or something.
But he is like an engineer for like when they were listing his credits, it was like Post Malone and like American rappers. Like it didn't seem like he was as plugged into the Korean industry, but that he's like very plugged into the American industry, but is a Korean man.
Yeah, he's a big time like US producer because he was saying himself like essentially half of the music that you hear on the radio, I mixed it. He has 3 Grammys that he's got like through Kendrick Lamar. And like other big rap names that I didn't write down. And yeah, so he was like, he said that his goal was to be a bridge between Korean artists and the US market. Like, so I think he wants to do more with Korean artists, but the 3 artists that were on the stage were very like they are not signed to Korean labels, and like Shenju is Chinese, and that's like where she got her start and has like released her music and stuff. So it was very separate from the K-pop industry.
But it was interesting to like hear them talk and stuff. So
yeah, and to listen to hear from like real industry professionals. After that, we went up and we met with our alikes.
Yes. Oh my God, it was
A-likes,
so
however you want to say it.
It was so great. Susie and Jamie, who are like executives in A-Likes Entertainment or whatever you guys call it, made like this beautiful sign, like a whole like sturdy sign,
like a fan sign that you would take to a concert
that said alikes, and it had the screaming Elmo, but he's holding our 2 like champagne flute light sticks. And like, oh my God, it touched my heart so much. And it was so sweet. And they brought stickers, that are full of like Discord inside jokes and are so cute. And I felt they're so adorable. They're so adorable.
The stickers are so beautiful. They let us take so many of them, which is so lovely. I'm going to have to find like good places to stick them. But yeah, so they organized like a little meetup with the handful of other A-likes that were there for the convention. So we got to meet everybody and take a picture, and pretty much everybody had traveled from out of state or out of the country.
The 3 Canadians that were there. I love the commitment.
Yes. So that was really exciting to get to see them. And then we were able to sort of connect with Susie and Jamie a little bit more like throughout the convention. But that was wonderful.
It was so nice to like see all sweet faces and talk. And then everybody signed the A-Likes poster. So like we have that as a nice little keepsake. And I think I want to, because it only has like a few signatures on it, I feel like next time we do, like I want to start taking that to things so that like we can add more signatures to it.
That's a great idea. I like it.
It was so sweet, and I felt very loved, and it was really nice. It was just really nice to like meet y'all after seeing you as little profile pictures and text on things. It was nice to be like, look, real human beings.
Real human beings. And so after we met our A-likes, we went to another little panel workshop that was just called a K-pop pop quiz. And this is the kind of stuff that we had participated in before. Like we've gone to, I remember one year we went to like a little 17 like fan chant thing.
And I went to one thing like in 2017 or 18 for like older fans and like won a t-shirt or something.
Yeah. So this was just like a Jeopardy style. They split everybody who came into the room, they just split them into 2 teams. And there were different categories. So there was like KCON 2022, KCON history, guess the idol, guess the song, and then a random category. And the questions were kind of all over the place. We laughed. We got a hearty chuckle out of one of the guess the idol questions because it was just 13 pairs of eyes or 12 pairs of eyes. And it was like, name all of the Luna members in this photo. And I think she did it. But our A Like Elijah accurately named all of the Itzies who were
Yes.
headless. And he had to name them in the correct order. And he did it. So that was fun and proud moment.
Yeah, that panel was hosted by Dre, which is spelled J-R-E. I think it's J-R-E, but he says
yeah,
it Dre. And he was on the same panel with us in the 2020 virtual KCON.
Yeah.
And he's been a big K-pop YouTuber for a long time. And we snuck out of that one before it ended because we were starving, but
yes,
we popped in to see it for a little bit.
Yeah, we had to go get something to eat. And I think that was the day that we were gobsmacked by the prices in the food truck alley, because there's always outside of the convention center, there's a little street with food trucks. And it's like tradition to get a Mr. Potato Twisty on a stick and like some kimbap or something. And kimbap and a lemonade was $25. I made that guy clarify the price for me like 3 separate times. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is peasant food.
Yeah.
How
it should not
dare
cost
you?
this much.
So that was the one and only time we ate in the food alley. So beware anyone else going to KCON in the future.
And bring cash, I guess, because also a lot of the booths were like Zelle only.
Yeah, Zelle or cash only. And I was like, okay. But anyway, so we took a little food break and then we went back in because we wanted to see something that we'd never seen on the convention schedule, which was called an opening ceremony. So we went, that was taking place on the convention floor on the KCON stage, which is where we saw the Berkeley dance performance. This was a big stage.
Yeah, a big raised up like stage that you could see from far away.
And Alex Reed,
our girl,
former leader and rapper of Rania, came out to introduce the Berkeley Conservatory Group. So that was the second time we got to see them because we'd seen them earlier in the day. And so they did their whole K-pop performance, and then what happened?
And then the opening ceremony started, and I realized once the like graphic came up that it was an opening ceremony for the KCON Rookie Tour, which is something that they've never done and are doing this year, which is that the 4 KCON rookie groups that performed on Friday night in a rookie show are getting to do a 6-city tour for the rest of the like summer, fall, or whatever around the US. So this was just a chance for the media and the fans to be introduced to all of the rookies and like talk about the tour and how excited they were. And it was hosted by Evan from BuzzFeed. I know he hasn't worked at BuzzFeed for years, but like that's where I know him from.
Yeah.
And who came out first?
201 came out first. And they did their group greeting, and then they introduced themselves individually. And they talked a little bit about their new album, which I'm assuming is their debut album. It's called Why Not, with the title of the same name. And then Evan just like asked them a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 questions. They said that they were excited to see, all of the cities because they played here in LA, then they're also going to San Francisco, Atlanta, New York, Dallas, and Minneapolis. So they were excited to go everywhere.
Then Angelica had to run and go meet our contact to get concert tickets for the night. So I was left alone to watch the rest of it. And Lightsome came out and they were wearing these freaking adorable, like green and white, like school-esque outfits. It was like letter jackets and Letterman sweaters and cheerleading skirts, but like all like arranged. And I just thought their whole like little outfit thing was very cute.
It was so cute. They wore it later on. That was their like stage outfit for the concert, and it was very adorable.
And they said that they were so excited to be performing for the first time in the US and that the fans had so much energy and they were really looking forward to it. And then they said that they had prepared a special cover stage for the concert that night and to like look forward to it. And then they brought Gravity out, and I missed the beginning of Gravity because as soon as they announced Gravity, I was shoved over by a giant security guy because when we had come up to the stage, we showed up to this early because we wanted to be close enough to get good pictures and stuff. but in front of the barricade, there were like 10 fan sites sitting on stools holding their telephoto lens cameras, which both things are not allowed at the convention. So when Gravity came out, the fan sites all stood up and took the big cameras out and they like were rapid firing, and the security was like, no, and like busted through the crowd and was like screaming at them and like, put the camera down, you're coming with me. It was so aggro. But he got them all, he threw them all out. So they're not allowed to do that. So I missed the beginning of Gravity's talk because there was a lot happening around me. But they were wearing really sparkly jackets that were so sparkly. And I was like, these are so beautiful. And they said that the city they were most looking forward to was Dallas because they want to eat Texas barbecue, which
Nice.
I loved. And then one of the members, Alan, is from LA, and he said that he was so proud and excited because his parents are here, and that he also said that it was a full circle moment because he had been an attendee at KCON 4 years ago, and now he's an idol on the stage.
That's
very cool.
So cool.
And then finally, Stacy came out, and they were wearing these so beautiful, pretty, like sparkly, poofy little dresses, all in different pastel colors with like beautiful sparkles. They looked so pretty. And they messed up their group intro, like, and it was so cute. It was so cute. They were just so cute. And they said that their new title track, Beautiful Monster, is a very different style of song for them. So it was very meaningful to have a new message to their music, and that this time is so meaningful because they're here with our fans. And they were excited to see the unique colors of every region because fans from those areas had been telling them all about what was cool about their cities. So they wanted to see it for themselves, but they were looking forward to going to New York the most because they'd never been there. And that they don't currently have any plans for any kind of US tour, but they promise that they'll come back for their own concert as soon as they possibly can, and that they were so excited to perform on Sunday. And yeah, they were all so cute and nice, but it was just like a quick little like intro to everybody, and it was cool to be standing 5 feet from all of them, and
Yeah.
it was a neat little tour kickoff.
Yeah, and that, like we said, the rookie tour is a new thing. And it was also something that we had noticed when the KCON lineup was announced, that all of the groups are like newer 4th gen groups. And so I don't think any of the groups are older than like maybe 5 years at this point. I think that's
Yeah,
that's
it
a
seemed
guess,
like,
but it's a
I mean, yeah, I don't know when Stray Kids debuted off the top of my head, but I feel like they are probably the most senior group that was there. Maybe Dream debuted before them. NCT Dream.
Oh, right, NCT Dream. I forgot.
But point
they
is
were
that
there.
it was like entirely 4th gen idols this year.
Okay, NCT Dream was 2016. And Stray Kids is 2018. So
Okay,
Dream
so-
was the most senior. The irony that the NCT babies were the most senior group. But yeah, so it was definitely a highlight for newer groups, I think. And so it was cool that these rookies also got that additional singling out.
Yeah.
And that they got to, like we said, we didn't go to the rookie show on Friday, but they got to do their own little performance, just the what is it, 4 of them. And so that's pretty cool that they got to do the main KCON stage and then their additional one.
And the additional one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this little opening ceremony, we went across the street to go get burgers and get our bellies full before we went to the concert that night. And then before we got in line to go to the concert, we steeled ourselves to try to be brave. Angelica was the actual brave one. You'll hear in this clip package that I didn't say shit because I was panicking.
It's okay. I'm the one with a degree in journalism. I used to have to do this for my job. I shouldn't be so fucking scared to talk to people about it in the first place. Like, this once upon a time was what I wanted to do for a living. So I should just put on my big girl pants and talk to people.
But I had really thought that, and we were really busy, so like it's okay, but like I really totally thought that we would have more opportunities to take the mics out and like record at the thing. But like the day goes by really fast when you're there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, before the concert, we took out our little pink mics and I had my little like travel setup bag and we just wandered around the crypto.com arena looking for people to talk to. So we'll go to that now and you can hear a little live experience of what it was like for us to like try to wrangle fans to talk to us. And some people had some great points and some good stuff. So let's go back to that right now.
Here we are, KCON, day 2.
Day 2.
We have had a wonderful convention day so far.
Yes.
Saw some beautiful alikes.
Yes, we did. It was so nice.
Did.
They brought us a beautiful A-like sign.
I know. I can't wait for us to have our real studio space so we can display it so proudly.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
And they brought us beautiful stickers full of Discord inside jokes.
Yes, those gorgeous sticker sheets, which will soon be available to anyone who asks for them.
I believe so, yes.
And now we are about an hour out from the concert for the Saturday show. And we're going to get some man on the street.
Yeah.
Hey, what do
Go
you think
bug
about
some
KCON?
people and see if they want to talk to us and be on our show. We'll see.
Wish us luck. We
Yeah.
hate talking to people.
I'm so scared. I'm hoping that these mics give us confidence and
Neither of us are
gravitas.
extroverted, so we will do our best.
Yeah, we surely will. Everybody's all lined up.
Let's talk to these guys because I really want to know what
Yes,
this outfit's all
please.
about. Okay, great. Hello. Hi. My name is Angelica. This is Shannon.
Hello.
We host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. We saw your outfits, and I got to know, what is the outfit? It looks like a reference to something specific.
It is. So ATEEZ in their storyline, they have multiple versions of themselves, and this is their alternate selves that they are currently trying to fight the government and take down because it's a very oppressive government. They aren't allowing music. They aren't allowing any art form. So this is their uniform to go out and not be recognized.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
Well, y'all look amazing.
You look fantastic. Tell us what it took to put these outfits together.
Well, a lot of clearance searching, a lot of 3 a.m.s, especially for all 3 packs, armbands, a lot of sewing, a lot of reference pictures finding.
So a lot of this was DIY.
Yes.
We love DIY fan merch. Is this your first time at KCON?
Yes, it is.
Oh, exciting. What's been your favorite part of the day?
Well, we got to see ATEEZ do, well, Wooyoung and San at the Dance with ATEEZ, and it was very nice. We got a little, like, right at Barricade. It was great.
Oh, nice. Are they the group you're most excited to see?
100%, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, y'all
thank
look
you
amazing.
so much. You look fantastic. Have so much fun at the concert tonight. Bye. Oh, there's so many people out here now. Let's talk to these ladies right here. Hi, ladies. We host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. Can we ask you a few questions? Great. Is this your first time at KCON?
No.
How many years have you come?
Just 2019 in New York.
Oh, New York. So this is your first KCON LA. Have you traveled all the way here from New York?
No, I traveled from Texas.
Oh, nice. We're from Texas,
too. We grew up in Austin. Where are you from?
DFW, so Fort Worth.
Who are you most excited to see?
ATEEZ.
Ah, okay. Have you ever seen them before?
Yes.
When?
That's a good question. I can't keep count anymore.
Oh,
Multiple times?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you follow them around?
Try not to, but it happens.
What was your best part of the convention today?
Today, just meeting the people. They've been really nice, so it's great.
Did you make some friends?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
fun
Have
at
a
the
good day.
how does Billy on the Street do this?
Oh my goodness, look at this line.
Whoa.
Holy crap, there's so many people here.
And it just
Well,
goes
and they
back
used to make this
forever.
line wrap all the way around the stadium. So now it's just like
Going straight back.
And it looks much more intimidating, I would say.
Yes. It's just like a sea. Mm-hmm. Those people have a camera and they're getting people to talk to them.
Oh, yeah, they're KBS, I think.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Can we talk to KBS? I want to be on KBS. We've been on NBC before.
That's true because of KCON.
Because of KCON.
Absolutely.
It's true. I don't know, man. I'm a little scaredy baby. I should have gotten way drunker. And then maybe I would be like,
Yeah,
hey,
you know what? Maybe we
talk
should
to
have.
me.
Yeah. Need
Wanna
some
be my
liquid
friend?
courage over here.
Do you wanna be my
Too shy
friend?
to
Wanna
do
talk to
this
me?
sober.
Too shy, so shy.
Our light stick is a champagne glass. We should have prepared.
I know.
Let's talk to these ladies over here. They look
Okay,
fun.
I'm following you.
Hello, ladies. Hi. We host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. It's a podcast. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about your KCON experience so far?
Sure.
Yay! Okay, is this your first time at KCON?
Yes, it is.
Exciting. Tell us all about it so far.
It's been really good. We actually had a moment where we ran into TO1 the other day, so that was really nice. Very panicky, but you know.
Sure.
Coming out of the bathroom, and we were just, having a discussion, and then all of a sudden they just walked by, and we're like, oh, who are these really well-dressed people coming as a group? And then all of a sudden they started waving at us, and we're just like, okay, hi, and then noticed security, and then finally recognition happened. We're like, oh, that's TO1. Okay, hi, love you.
Who are you excited to see tonight?
ATs and Stray Kids.
Awesome.
Of course, they're the big names, right? What's been your aside from seeing TO1, what's been the best part about the convention so far?
Probably just seeing everybody's outfits, everybody being excited for the performance, just a really good synergy. It's just been, amazing. It's my first time too, so.
Oh, yay.
Well, I hope you have an excellent evening. Have so much fun. Are you guys going to be back here tomorrow?
Yes.
Are you going to the concert too?
Yes.
All right. Who are you
right.
excited for tomorrow?
T-
Dream.
And the boys.
Yeah.
Everyone harmony.
Yeah, the Dreamies were people that I never thought would actually come over to
Sure.
America. 127, I always have hope that they're gonna come, but Dream never thought about it. So when I saw it in the lineup, I was very excited about it.
Yeah, and that was a late addition too, right? It was surprising. Yeah. I know. I can't believe Mark is still an NCT Dream.
I know.
We'll have so much fun.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
chatting with
much.
us. Bye. I would love to find a mother-daughter duo or
I
something.
know. Where are
someone
these
who's here with their
moms?
parents.
Because I want to know.
Who's here with their parents? Raise your hand
Are
if you're
there
here with
any
your mom.
moms that we can talk to?
Hello, you want to talk to us? I see you looking at us. I said, I see you looking at us. We're coming over to talk to you. Hello, we host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. Can we ask you a few questions about your convention experience so far? Don't be nervous, it'll be easy. Is this your first time at KCON?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, how's it going so far?
Good.
Yeah. What's been your favorite part of the convention thus far?
Seeing the idols. The fun.
Yeah.
The random dance.
Did you girls dance at all?
Yes.
Little bit.
Not on the stage, but where you were? Who are you excited to see tonight?
ATs.
Of course, they're the name of the moment this evening. Have you ever seen them before?
Yes.
I haven't, but
Oh, okay.
It's our first time.
All right.
Exciting. When did you see ATs last?
Atlanta. And the last tour.
Did you guys travel here from Atlanta for KCON?
Oh,
Specifically for
awesome.
ATs?
Yes. Nice.
I came from Vegas.
Okay.
Not too far, not too far. So is this your first KCON or K-pop concert experience?
No, I saw BTS in Vegas.
Okay.
Concert there, but most of the stuff is never in Vegas, so I have to go to California.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always the hardest part is where are they gonna go, right? What is a song you hope ATs perform?
Sack the one.
Okay.
Off of the new album, I want to hear Cyberpunk.
Okay. How about you?
I just want to hear Wonderland because it's my favorite song.
Wonderful.
Well, I hope you get to hear all three of those. Thank you for chatting
Thank
with
you
us. Have
so
much
much. Have a good
fun.
time.
Hi.
Hi.
We host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. Can we ask you a few questions about your KCON experience so far?
Okay.
Okay, great. It'll be nice and easy, I promise. Is this your first time at KCON?
Yes,
How's it going so far?
it's going really good.
Yeah?
I'm a new fan to K-pop.
Okay.
Was a fan of ENHYPEN. Got in
Awesome.
on Island, and a Nicki fan, and so I'm probably the oldest person here.
You never know. You never know.
But
K-pop draws all kinds, and our show is an educational show for new fans and for seasoned fans too. What got you into K-pop?
really, COVID.
Okay.
You know, Netflix came out with Island, and we were home, and we just started watching Island, and then we just love and hype, and they are so cool.
So are they the ones you're most excited to see?
Yes, yes. So,
How about you? How's your convention day going so far?
Going well. I mean, we came from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So
Wow, how fun.
yeah.
so we're going to see in Hype and in Fort Worth, too.
Oh, nice. Very exciting.
Really hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We made
Stray
t-shirts.
Kids, too.
They're so cute. I love the rhinestones.
That's so cute.
Lovely.
We always make our own stuff. This shirt she
I made
for
this
me a long
one
time
too.
ago. Fan-made merch is always the best, I think, for sure. Is this your first K-pop concert experience too?
Yes. Yes.
What is something that you're excited to see, or maybe something that you're like, this is going to be different from a regular concert?
The fan chants.
Okay.
The
And
light
the light
stick.
sticks.
light sticks.
We've got our light sticks in
Yay!
here, so that makes it even more exciting.
The best part is when they sync the light sticks and they're
Yes.
all the same color. Oh, it's magical.
So we're missing that on this, but we'll get that when we go to Fort Worth.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes they sync them here too. Yeah, sometimes. It depends. It depends. But that is so exciting.
Yeah, so-
You a mother-daughter duo?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
How fun is it to be able to share K-pop with your mom?
Amazing. I mean, everybody is really surprised that my mom would, I didn't have to drag her into it. She
Yeah.
loves it just as much as I do. And it's something we share. And like she said, in COVID, it really just gave us something to look forward to every week and share and be happy with. So.
That's so
so
fun.
nice.
When I told my mom I was into K-pop, she was like, okay. So that is so exciting. I hope you have a wonderful time.
And here, check out our podcast. You can learn so much about K-pop. Welcome to the world of K-pop.
Yes,
Have a fun
welcome.
time.
Excuse me. Hi. We host a show called Ask Me About K-pop. Would you mind if we ask you a couple questions about your KCON experience so far? Great.
Yeah, sure.
We want to get some dudes on this, some dude perspective, you know? Absolutely. So, is this your first time at KCON?
Yeah, my first time.
Not yours?
Second, yeah.
All right. When was the last time you came?
2019.
Okay.
All right. And how's your experience been so far?
Oh, it's been nice. Yeah, it's a few diverse things to do, so I think it's been interesting.
What was the highlight of today?
We saw a Kepler interview talk show thing, and I thought that it wasn't too crowded and was able to actually see the stage and the girls, so it was nice.
Awesome. Are they who you're most excited to see?
Actually, I want to see Ateez and
Okay.
Hyphen, and I'll be here tomorrow as well. So Stacy and those groups. So
How did you guys get into K-pop?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up as an Asian guy. I grew up in a Caucasian neighborhood, and then with internet, I explored Japanese music and then Korean music in 2007, and I used it as a way to escape my surroundings. And then that's how I got into it with Gen 2.
Who is your favorite Gen 2 group?
Shit. I mean, it's DBXQ.
Hell
TVX,
yeah. Love it.
DBXK, TVX. Yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, I thought they were awesome, but yeah.
How about you? How did you get into it?
I had somebody in Korea came to my high school, and he had a crush on the K-pop girl group. So then,
Which one?
it was Girls' Gen, and exactly, and Taeyeon from Girls' Gen.
Yeah,
and then
that's my
he was
girl.
like, "Hey, this is my girlfriend back in Korea," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Oh, that's good for you, man," And
she's a babe.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, very nicely done," And then he was like, "No, actually, she's a girl group." Then that was the age of MySpace, so he was like, "Oh, check out her MySpace." I'm like, "Sure." And then I kind of just exploring, and then I saw click on TVXQ page, and the song was like, wait a second, this is good. It was like Purple Line, TVXQ. I was like,
Oh my God!
I love
I was like,
this.
this is good.
Second gen.
This is good stuff. And then I followed for a little bit, but I kind of stopped for a little bit, and then randomly, 2013, I was like, who is this BTS that keeps popping up on my feed, And I gave it a chance, and then, yep, here I am.
Back
Didn't stop after
in.
that.
10 years later, here we are. Amazing. Well, I hope you guys have so much fun. Here, if you want to check out our show, give you a little business card and a button. Have so much fun, you guys. Thanks for talking to us.
Dudes. Dudes
And
who are
second gen dudes. Hell yes,
old-timey
TVXQ.
fans.
God,
I
I'm
love
so sad
that
I'm not wearing my
answer. I
TVXQ
know.
shirt. Ah,
It's
I'll
a
never
real
forgive you,
tragedy. Doing
Teasing
so-
us with that 5-day
I know.
shipping.
The t-shirt that I ordered for the 17 concert came in like 3 days. And so we were like, great, we can just get t-shirts. But no, the second round of printing did not go the way that we thought it would.
So my beautiful, beautiful 5-member TVXQ hair metal shirt is still en route. And we'll have to have another day in the
I
sun
know.
that isn't today.
Sad times.
Sad.
I wish I knew where our A-likes
Hey,
were.
you want to talk to us? Hey, buddy. We host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. What's your name?
I'm Jad.
Is this your first time at KCON?
Yes.
And how's it going so far?
Good.
Tell us your favorite part.
The convention.
Not dancing with gravity?
Yeah, and dancing with
You
gravity.
danced with gravity? Tell us everything about it.
I was with Ruben, Taeyang, and Hyungjan. Yeah, and then we recorded a TikTok dancing to a gas pedal.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Can you show us a little bit of it now? Yeah, show us that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's got it.
Amazing. So,
Oh yeah, we
will
will.
for sure. Are you most excited to see them for the concert?
I even have their shirt. He has their cavity shirt.
Oh, love it.
Number one fan?
Yeah.
Oh, Kepler too. Did you get to see them around?
Yeah.
He actually performed for Kepler too.
Oh my goodness, you're the star of KCON.
How long have you been dancing, my friend?
A couple years.
Do you want to be an idol too?
Yes.
All
Well, you know they had a global audition in there today. Maybe in a couple years you can do it too, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
will.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Have so much fun tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
No.
We saw Itzy as well, so we did a lot. Let me show you guys him with practice.
Oh, please.
So let me find the TikTok video specifically. No, not yet, but this is him recording it.
Look at you.
Oh my God.
The whole crowd started cheering his name too. It was.
Oh my God.
Of course. You're going to remember that forever, right? Is this your first time at KCON?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And how's it been going so far?
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's so much better than I thought it would be. It's like VidCon, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
It's cool that the idols actually like come out and you get to
I wasn't expecting them to do that for $50.
Yeah.
I know. And that's new. Like the past years, they didn't spend as much time on the convention floor. It's really fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to WJSN tomorrow.
Yes.
Us too.
Girls' Generation fan?
I love Girls' Generation. They're who got me into K-pop many years ago.
My bias is Hyoyeon.
That's a great bias. I love it.
What got you into K-pop?
Twice.
Nice.
Who's your
bias in
twice bias?
Jonghyun.
Good choice. Good choice.
Twice concert.
Really? Did you go see them here in LA?
Yeah.
We were at that concert
No
too.
way.
Yeah.
Day one, I think.
Yes.
I think we went
Yes,
to the
day
first
one.
one.
I think we went day one too. Yeah. It was
Nice.
amazing. My sister held him on her back and was like, Jonghyun.
Oh, and
Wow.
she saw you.
Yeah.
That's so
Amazing.
exciting.
Living his
K-pop
like
dream
fanfiction
life.
dreams.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that keeps going for you. We're gonna keep an eye out for you.
Jad in the future, just wait 5 years.
Yes,
Okay.
we will.
We'll look out
Have
for
so
you.
much
Y'all
fun
have so much fun
You guys
tonight.
so much.
Thank you. What a cutie pie.
Okay, now we truly have all the demographics. I
Yes,
think
we
we
have
found the
children
oldest and youngest people
Yes.
here.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hello, excuse me. I saw your shiny shirt and I had to come and talk to you because we love Shiny. And we host a show called Ask Me About K-Pop. Can we talk to you about your
Oh, Keyland sweatshirt.
Yes! Oh my God, we have found our people. Yes, it is a podcast. So is this your first time here at KCON?
This is my 4th or 5th time.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Us too. Third, so you're
my
third,
yes.
you said? How has your convention experience been going so far?
I came to work.
Oh no!
My legs are tired. But actually, I think this is the most meaningful KCON that I've experienced. I'm trying to corroborate that with other people. Like, did you guys go to Amber's panel?
Yes, we did.
Right? Were you guys holding back tears, perhaps?
Yes, we were
It was
crying
so
in the back.
beautiful.
Right, and then I had a lot of fun listening to other people talk about how much it means to come back from the pandemic and then meet with their people again and see the new things, experience new things, right? All these groups debuted while we were in lockdown, and they're just kind of like getting to see the joy that it brings to other people and then starting to pick up on that joy themselves. Yeah.
That
That's a
is really-
beautiful point.
yeah, very meaningful. Absolutely. How's your experience been going so far?
It's been great. I did miss the Friday, so this is my first day. But similarly, because I've been here 2 times before, it was really nice to come back. But also, I brought my sister and her friend. Is their very first time. The friend is her first time coming to any sort of K-pop event at all.
I love that.
This is her first concert that she's going to be experiencing, and so it's kind of seeing through somebody else's eyes, right? Like this joy that comes from something that they haven't had access to for the past 2+ years. So I agree that it's been very meaningful.
That's so good. Did you guys see SHINee when they were here so many years ago?
Yes, many SHINee concerts, but yes, definitely here as well. This was especially, I think, a really meaningful one. So I think LA has a special place for a lot of Shawls. Definitely.
For sure.
It does. That was one of the first times we saw SHINee.
It was the
too.
second time we saw them, but it was
I said
very...
one of the first.
I had gone to the Vancouver concert right before and then came down here. So yes,
Love
I
that.
understand.
Are you going to the concert?
I am going to the concert. I'm really excited for tomorrow because NCT Dream,
Yes.
Pink Blood, SM Family. So, that's I have to support the babies. Yeah, very excited for that.
What got you ladies into K-pop?
Sherlock.
Great answer.
Well, it was a little bit extended. I'd already watched everything on Netflix, and that was the time where Funimation suddenly dropped a whole bunch of new content onto Netflix. And I tried watching it, wasn't really getting into it, but the algorithm was like, not into Japanese stuff, how about Korean stuff? And then Boys Over Flowers, and then Stand By Me. And then the funny story is, I was looking to see if there's a music video for Stand By Me. There's not. There's just that SM Town Paris. Yes. And I don't know if you remember what they look like. For example, Key had a very sharp, like bowl cut, all blonde. They were dressed really tacky. Jonghyun had his hair like straight up.
Yes.
Yeah, Onyu had a perm, and Taemin looked like a child. And so
he was a child.
I remember watching that, and I was like, "This is such a great song." But I guess I'll not be getting into this group. Shut the laptop. And then, thanks to algorithms again, YouTube was like, "Don't like that? How about Sherlock?" And it immediately filled the pop-sized hole in my heart that I had been left with ever since NSYNC said, we're going to be apart for a while, yeah.
This is our origin story, too.
I had been trying, like, what else is out there? And, like, spent some time with the Disney kids and Jonas Brothers, and it's like...
Girl, this is so familiar.
Right.
You're telling us our own story.
Oh, my gosh. Kindred spirits.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, Sherlock came on, and I was like... I immediately started sending it to all my pop friends who enjoyed NSYNC with me back in the day. And I was like, this is it. You know, if NSYNC ever did this in the USA, it would be #1. And did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see the guy in the starry shorts? And also, I was so amazed because, like, I'd never seen a dance like that where most of it was, like, posing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am fully satisfied and very impressed.
That is super impressive. It's hard to deny, Sherlock. How about you? What's your origin story?
So it took me a little while, but I was studying abroad in Japan, and it's really funny because we were listening to lots of Japanese music. One of the other people that were studying abroad, they were like, oh, but have you heard any K-pop before? And then started me down this black hole, started sending me all these different music videos. So I was growing a playlist and, you know, into various different artists. And then eventually it's funny because I've gone back to that playlist. And I feel like I put on, and it was Hello, was my first SHINee MV that I watched. And after that, it's really funny, all my auditions started becoming SHINee onto this playlist. So, but what I say is SHINee had me at Hello. That was where they got me.
I'm gonna cry.
Did everybody hear their lives change thanks to algorithms?
Yes. I think so.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
I would like to thank, but also would not like to thank the algorithms.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, right? Because they're always listening to us, but also they brought us SHINee. So
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It is so good to meet you guys. Here, wait, let's give you some pins.
Oh, there's pins.
Dropping them everywhere.
Yes, so if you can find us later and we'll do a whole episode, you guys will be on it if you want to check it out. Have so much fun for the rest of your weekend. You are working this, so I bet that we'll see you around.
Yeah, I'll see you in the press room.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we'll be there.
What was your name?
Hannah.
Hannah. I'm Angelica.
I'm
This is
Shannon.
Very
Ashley.
nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet
ladies.
y'all.
Have so much fun.
Have fun. All right, so that's enough of talking to people outside the concert for day 2, and we're gonna head in and go see ATEEZ and Stray Kids and ITZY and stuff.
Yeah, and INNY, a brand new group we've never heard before.
Yeah, so surprises await, and we'll tell y'all all about it after this on the podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
and then we'll be back chatting with more people tomorrow.
tomorrow, see you then. Yay, we did it.
We sure did. And we did our best to try and get like a nice variety of people. We wanted to get all different age ranges. And it was really exciting to like find people who, you know, had gotten into K-pop during the pandemic versus people who had been listening since like TVXQ. And so it was really cool to see the range of experiences and the diversity of fans, because we've said this many times, I think, but that's always the coolest part about KCON. And especially because liking K-pop can sometimes be an isolating experience. Like it can be hard to find other people here or around you that also listen to or understand or like this thing. And then, so for many people, going to KCON is like the first time that they get to be in such a big group where everybody likes the same thing. And that's why it's so magical and fun.
Right. And something that the Shawwalls that we talked to last brought up that like I hadn't really been thinking about, which was that like so many of the groups, like not only were the fans pandemic fans, so many of the groups were pandemic groups that haven't even done that many shows for actual people like ever. So there was like a sense of like newness and rebirth about the whole thing. Like everyone was like starting fresh. Yeah. So it was very interesting. And then after that, we went to the concert, which we will save for a whole episode that will come out later this week.
So then that takes us into Sunday, our last day of the convention. And this was, I think, our most like traditional convention day in that we like went to panels.
Yes.
And I feel like that is like what you do. Like every time I ever had to go to a teacher convention, it was just like sitting in different rooms and listening to different people talk. And that's what we did on Sunday.
It sure is.
So we started out by going to a panel called Deconstructing Songs. And it was specifically deconstructing the songs of ENHYPEN, Stray Kids, and ITZY, I
because
believe.
they were all at the convention. People were
Yes.
keeping I didn't realize, but of course they did because it makes the most sense. But so many of the panels were like focusing on like who is here right now and not like the broader picture of K-pop, but like you all came to see these 12 people. So like that's who we're going to be talking about. But I digress.
This was emceed by a woman named Emerson, who is a on-air radio DJ here in the States. And it was a panel of Jessica Onju, who is a producer for ENHYPEN, KO, who is a producer for Twice, Samuel, who is a producer for Stray Kids, and Kairos, who is the CEO of Kairos Music Group and has produced for so many different people, including GOT7, SHINee, ITZY, Suzy, and he wrote Signal for Twice.
Yes.
And so this was a really cool panel. It seemed they didn't introduce themselves this way, but they all clearly work together. And I think that they are like a little music group. They seem to be a team. And it was really cool because we had KO was like the engineer, and then Kairos and Samuel were like the main songwriters of the like drums and the guitar, and then Jessica was the top line, which meant that she does like the melody. So it was really cool to see the way that the songs like get put together, because we've talked a lot about how, you know, you'll see this song and then there's like 10 different people listed as songwriters. And this is kind of why, because they sort of divvy up the parts in some ways and use a whole team to put them together. But there were a lot of really cool insights that we got into the writing process of different songs. One thing I took away from that I thought was really interesting is that companies do give songwriters leads and references. So they will talk to the producers and they'll say, we want a song that sounds like this. And they'll give, or like, we want songs that have this kind of energy, or this is the kind of concept we're going to go for. And so the producers were saying that obviously they try not to create something that actually sounds like that song, but that captures the soul of that song. So like, for example, Jessica talked about how one of the songs that she had done, and I'm trying to remember if I can find
the song. It was an Enhypen song, but I don't remember the title of it.
Yeah, I think I wrote the title down, but it was a while. I took such detailed notes about this panel that it's hard to find the exact. But she had talked about how there was a specific song where, the song was called Attention Please. And the leads and references were like punk rock, like
And Machine Gun
Youngblood
Kelly.
and Machine Gun Kelly. And she said that she heard those songs and then it reminded her of when she was a kid and she really liked Avril Lavigne and Green Day. And so she went more off of that. And she just kind of, rather than making a song that sounded like Machine Gun Kelly, she thought, well, what does it mean to be punk rock? And like, what is it about punk rock that gets people pumped up? And those are the elements that she tried to like incorporate in the song. So that was really interesting.
There was also a point where the engineer had like a bunch of the songs that they were talking about, like the sessions actually pulled up on his laptop, and they couldn't get them on the screen, which was unfortunate. I feel like visualizing it also would have been very helpful. But they like showed like, okay, so they wanted it to be a piano song. So here's the piano we started with. And then they'd like add in the drums and like sort of show you piece by piece how the songs got built, which was so fascinating as well.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I think they were talking about a specific Stray Kids song, Chronosaurus.
Yes.
Which the references that the company had given them were like Imagine Dragons, and one of them has like an arpeggio, like piano piece being the like main hook of the Imagine Dragons song. So that's why they started with the piano. But then that was really cool when Kairos and Samuel talked a lot about working with Stray Kids, because Stray Kids is known for having a hand in their own music. And so essentially what they do is that they create a demo, and they talked a little bit about how that particular demo had been done like rushed and in like a very like urgent, like shit, we got to throw this together, like we're meeting with them tomorrow, like crap. So they just like put this together, and they were like afraid to play it for them in the room, and they loved it. And so then immediately that day, like with the members, they started flushing it out, and they said that they actually created like 3 Racha came in and they just like wrote entrance on the spot with them. And they really enjoyed like being able to work with the idols. And nobody asked. I would be interested to talk more with them about like, how often do you get to work with the idols, and are there certain companies or certain groups that like are more involved with it? Because they talked a lot about how important it was for them as songwriters to write songs that are specific for the artist. Like they talked about how important it is for songwriters and producers to study the group in order to this isn't just a song, it's a song for Twice. It's a song for Stray Kids. And like, how can we capture like the story that the idols want to tell? Because they do have their own story. That was like a real big point that they kept making, because there were a lot of aspiring songwriters and producers in the room. So they were kind of, part of it was like a professional development sort of like advice on how to break into this and how to write for K-pop. And that was their biggest, they were like, study the group. group. Like too many people don't study the group, and they think they can just sell a song to anybody, and like you have to know who you're writing for. And they talked a lot about how, like, because somebody asked like, well, Kairos, like, you're a man, how do you write for Twice? And he was like, honestly, like, I sing, like, I like pretend to be Twice, and I like sing, I like put on Twice, and I like get them real loud, and I like sing in my falsetto around the living room, and my wife comes in and is like, what are you doing? And he says, working. But he was like, I have to imagine the song in their voice. Like if I'm writing a melody or writing lyrics, like I have to hear it in their voice in order to really put myself like in their shoes. And I thought that was really interesting, because I think a huge criticism that K-pop gets is that manufactured
Like,
aspect
it's not
of
real,
it.
and
It's
it's
not
just, like,
authentic,
yeah.
because the idols aren't making the music themselves. And so then to see this group of people who are really dedicated and passionate about the idea of writing for these idols was cool.
Yeah,
it
that
was
like
really
everybody
cool.
has something to say, and that idols are people too, and they have like love troubles, and they can't talk about them publicly, but like their music is a way that they can like speak to those things, because like they like aren't allowed to have like public romances, but you know, they're having them, and so their music is a way that they can express that kind of stuff. And they all seemed so nice and so cool, and we're gonna try very hard to get them on the show because they were great, and I want to talk to them forever.
They were really cool. They were really cool. So we connected with them afterwards, so hopefully we'll hear more from them. Okay, so after deconstructing songs, we went to a panel with your Korean dad, who is a TikTok star. And that was so freaking pleasant.
It was great. We also connected with an A-like named Rebecca, who missed the A-like meetup because she was too close to ATs at the McDonald's booth and wasn't willing to leave, which understandable.
Oh, yes, because during our little A-like meet, ATs was at that huge McDonald's truck, like giving out fries to people. So, yes, we met up with Rebecca. Actually, we just like ran into her in line. For this Korean dad thing. And then we ended up sitting next to each other. So that was nice that it worked out.
But yes, your Korean dad, if you are unfamiliar, if you're not on TikTok, he is a TikTok creator. He's like a dad, and he makes like POV videos. And every video starts with, "Hi, I'm your Korean dad." And then he just does things like takes you shopping for school, or like works through, like there was one video that he kept bringing up that he did recently that I think had like a big impact on people, where like you, the person watching, accidentally breaks his favorite coffee cup. And he's like, "Oh, that was my favorite coffee cup." Like, but it's okay. Like, accidents happen. We can just clean it up. And like, his videos are very important to people who like don't have dads or had bad dads, and like just in a like healing your inner child, like this is what it would be like if you had a nice dad, is kind of his whole thing. And he was just as pleasant and warm and cuddly and amazing in person. Like I just felt so comforted in his presence. Like he's a nice dude.
Yeah, he was so nice. And he has two daughters, one of whom was there, and she was like, because he also did a little Q&A like he spoke for a little while, but he was like, my whole
I just
thing
want to talk
is
to you.
my whole thing is about you guys, so I'm gonna ask you all questions too and stuff. And so he had Penelope like running around with the microphone, which was really funny. But yeah, it was great. He talked a lot about, you know, like how he makes his videos and where he gets his ideas, and then he opened it up for questions, and people kind of asked like, "Oh, you asked?" Like,
I
how do
asked
you
him
take
if his
care of
heart was
himself?
okay, just because I know that when like taking on other people's trauma can be traumatic in itself. And he had a really great answer for it. And he was like, if you're asking if I'm okay, like I'm okay. But like, I don't know, he's just so deeply filled with empathy. And
and he did talk about how like, he was like, yeah, you're right. Like I do get a lot of really heavy stuff. And like sometimes I'll get an email or a comment that like does make me cry. But I get like a sense of catharsis from being able to like cry with you and like share that moment and share that burden with you a little bit. And he was just like so pleasant and positive. And he was like, people tell me I'm the most optimistic person they know. And I was like, yeah, man, you are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you, but I can see that is true. So that was really fun. And then the last thing that we really did, you tried to get into this WJSN.
Yes, there was some little thing happening that it was like a very short like panel, quote unquote, where the idols would teach the audience a TikTok challenge from the group, and then they'd pull some people up on stage to do it and film the little TikToks. So this was supposed to be, or I guess it was, I missed it, but it was WJSN Chocomi, like the subunit, was doing that, but the line was super long, but also I get why they did it because it would be a pain otherwise. But instead of having like the ropes up like Disneyland to keep the lines in order, they just had put some tape on the ground. But when the line was that long, there was no order to it after a certain point. So I waited in line for a bit. I got brave. I passed out buttons to like everyone in my vicinity, like just to try to do that. But then once everybody stood up and the line started moving, it was like the 70 people in the back corner just started like bum rushing towards the end of the line, and the line lost all sense of order, and I started getting claustrophobic and freaking out. So I just left the line and like went to the bathroom and like calmed myself. And then when I came out of the bathroom, they were still like lining people in, and I was like, I could get in the end now, but it feels like there are so many people in there that I probably won't. So like, forget it. I'm just gonna go where Angelica is. So I gave up on it, but I tried. Sort of.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
But so I had left Shannon to fend for herself because I wanted to go to a panel that was starting at the same time. And the Chocomi thing was only supposed to be 30 minutes and the panel was supposed to be an hour. So we were going to meet up in the panel anyway. But this was called Why Women Run K-Pop in 2022. And there was no like summary blurb, but I loved that title, so I wanted to go. And this was, again, our friend Emerson, who, like I said, is a K-pop on-air DJ. And then it also had Cody and Wyatt, who are a YouTube duo. They do dance covers, paintings, all different kinds of things. And then it was a girl named Lex, who is from a dance group that also does a lot of K-pop covers. And it was just sort of a very informal but very cool and like productive, fun, interesting discussion about why girl groups are great, but also like how they compare to boy groups, how they're seen, how they're treated, how things have changed, and kind of like where we hope they will go. So the panelists, there wasn't really an MC, like they were just kind of directing themselves with questions. I guess Cody and Wyatt like kind of took the main, like they would sort of lead off with the questions, I think, but it was really just an open discussion.
Yeah, it was very much not a sit and watch the panel, and there weren't very many people in there, and we were all just kind of spread out and like facing each other.
Yeah.
And they put both mics in the audience, and we're just like, y'all talk. So really was just like a talk with everyone in the room instead of a like the panelists or the experts and listen to them. It was like we were all having a discussion.
Yeah, which was fun because I think that when they saw that it was kind of a smaller group, and this was one of the last panels of the day, so they were just kind of like, based on like seeing all of you guys here, like we'd really love to talk with you as opposed to talking at you. And so it was really interesting. Like Cody and Wyatt both talked about how their introduction to girl groups was twice. And that something that like really stood out to them in particular was the hyper femininity of Twice and the way that they sort of expressed their femininity in a way and like celebrated it in a way that artists in the US weren't doing. And so like Wyatt was talked about how that kind of like filled this genre of bubblegum pop that wasn't being made by Western artists anymore. And Cody brought up that like at the time that Twice came out, there seemed to be a lot of like talking down about them. And people weren't really like taking girl groups very seriously, which has kind of always been the case. And he opened it up to like, well, how has that changed? And like, what sort of like lanes do girl groups get the chance to be? And so that was cool because we got to talk about things that we've discussed before in the show of like how, it's not just a fairy idol or it's not just Girls' Generation versus 2NE1 anymore. Now you have this whole range of things that girl groups can be. And I think there's also a lot of flexibility in and their concepts too, of like one time they can do this and the next time they come back they could try something a little different. And it was great. Like, what kind of highlights do you remember from this conversation?
I feel like there was a cool thing. There was two guys in the back who I talked to afterward that are working on some kind of feature film,
Yes, that
like a
was very
fictional
cool.
K-pop movie that's being made. And they like came to the convention to try to learn about K-pop. So of course I had to give them our card and be like, we have you covered. 200 episodes, you'll get it. That was really cool. And then there was even a girl who, when she got the mic, was like, I want to straight up admit that like I was a person that thought girl groups were bad and stupid and like not for me. And like listening to you all talk is like making me reconsider my whole view of like girl groups and what they are, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then also I was proud of us because I loved, like, the conversation was very positive and everybody was like having a good time, but like, you know me, I love being a like realist Debbie Downer that like we had to be like, but please don't forget, like, girls are still very looked down on in South Korea, and there's a whole like backlash against any kind of feminism. So like, as much as we want girls to rule the world and like girl power, like there's a whole society to butt up against in that, and like that's something we have to be mindful of as K-pop fans. And like,
yeah, because there was at a certain point the conversation was kind of like, what do we want like for girl groups in the future? Because we were been talking about how they're like getting more now. They're finally getting more of a push in the US, and people are getting a chance to see that like K-pop isn't just about the boy groups and stuff. And people were like, oh, well, we really want to see more like women in power behind the scenes, and like more songwriters and CEOs and female producers and stuff. And then they talked about how like, yeah, like they want to see the girls like saying girl power and that kind of stuff. And we were like, well, you know, like the feminist movement is very different the way that it unfolded in South Korea, and like the social and cultural context that it's up against. Like, this is why you see like people not being so, you know, upfront about those kinds of things. And we brought up the backlash that like Irene got from reading
a book and having a phone case that says girls are cool. Like, no, that's not allowed.
And so it was really interesting. It was a very fun discussion to have. I mean, you know us, we love to be able to speak deeply and analytically about K-pop. And this was like a whole crew of people, who were down to do the exact same thing. The guy who was working on the movie was really interesting because he was like, he didn't tell us a lot of specifics about the project, but said that it was about a girl group. And he was like, what do I need to be conscious of in showing these girls and like telling their stories? Like, what are things that I like, do's and don'ts of how girl groups are portrayed? And that was really cool. I brought up that I didn't want them to be catty. I was like, they should be, because, you know, like boys are always seen as like, oh, they're a family, they're brothers, they love each other. And like the girls have to be competitive and like they don't get along. Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're a team. And so it was just really cool. I don't know. It was a lot of like bouncing back and forth between different ideas.
There was one thing that the YouTube guys brought up that I thought was like not unsurprising. Like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, ugh, of course. But like, it like doesn't make any sense. Like, the way that these greedy capitalists are, that they should have realized this. But the guys who have the YouTube channel said that they were told when they like get brands approach them or whatever, and then they would show that their audience was like 85% female, they'd be like, oh, well, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
Girls don't buy things. And it was like, in what world do girls not buy things? And like, I don't understand this like hesitancy that like, because K-pop is a thing that people like view as like just for girls, that means it isn't profitable, when like the exact opposite is true. And like,
yeah, and they said that it wasn't even gendered products that were turning them down, or that were like specifically looking at for this male demographic. So they were really confused about why that was. And then Emerson talked about how she's been trying to like on the radio get a K-pop show going, and the producers have told her that she needs a male co-host or she can't do it. So it's just really, really interesting how that kind of obvious sexism is just still such a linchpin in different things in our society that it was shocking to hear that insider perspective. But it was, I mean, I guess not that surprising. But yeah, it was
But
just
that
a
was such
really
a cool panel and
discussion.
discussion, and we like ended up hanging out for a while afterward, like talking to everybody, because nicely a lot of people then came up to us because we were talking with such authority every time we had the microphones. And so
We did not dominate that conversation.
No, we didn't.
We held back.
We did not dominate it. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people came up like, hey, you seem to know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yes.
Can you tell
Yeah,
me about
yeah,
your
yeah.
podcast? So that was very cool. And then we got to talk to a reporter from the LA Times for a while because he also was very interested in what we had to say. So, like, looking forward to see if we get mentioned in an article, but like, fun.
That in particular was really cool too, because he was a Korean American journalist who, he really wanted to, like, when we brought up like the feminist movement in South Korea and like the misogyny that actually exists, he was like, this has been something that's been on my mind lately, like as a Korean American, like seeing the sort of reaction to different things. And he really wanted to talk about like the nitty gritty of like racism and misogyny in South Korea and like capitalism and monopolies. And I was like, dope. Like, this is so
we talked to him
We talked to him for like an hour.
So nerdy. I loved it.
Oh my God. It was so freaking fun. Like that was like 2 straight hours of like high level discussion about
which
K-pop.
is our
And I
favorite
was like,
thing.
God, this makes me feel alive. Like I was the burning Elmo. Like, oh my God, just like screaming. It was so validating and fun. And I love, like, this is, like I said, the magic of KCON is to find your people. And that was really great. I loved that.
Yeah, so that was the end of it for us. We unfortunately, but fortunately for like our knees and our spirits, we didn't find out that we had tickets for the Sunday concert until like the minute we had driven off of the property.
We had literally walked into my apartment and we got a call that was like, I have your tickets. Are you still here? And I was like, oh, no. And like, not gonna lie to you, man, I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back.
I live like 10 minutes from the convention center and I was not about to do that to myself.
I had already, like, my brain was already ready to like go to sleep, and I don't think I could have gone back on it. And we were joking before we started recording that like I got home and I made dinner, and as I was finishing my dinner, I looked at my phone and it was like the concert started 5 minutes ago. And then when I like went and got in bed, it was like there's still an hour left of the concert, and like I just don't think I could have done it. Maybe we were saying if we hadn't gone to 17 on Wednesday that we probably could have rallied for a second day of concert, but it was such a long week. Like I think I would have been delirious and not even taken the concert in because I was so tired at that point.
Yeah, I really don't think that I had it in me to make it through. And as I said many times, to like reassure ourselves that was the right decision. We never go to both days of KCON concert.
Don't.
Like we never do. We always only buy one night. And we also never do 3 days of the convention. We never do as many panels and we never go. Like Saturday, we were there from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. That is the longest day we've ever spent at KCON. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I love you, KCON, but we were tired.
Thank you. Like truly appreciative from the bottom of our hearts for all of the things that we were like treated to and given access to this weekend. It was an honor and a privilege to be press at KCON, but like, ooh, baby, I'm old and it was hard.
Well, next time we just need to not have a stadium tour before that or whatever.
Right?
Like we need to not have a world tour 2 days before a 3-day convention. Because we are in our 30s.
So 17, never do that again.
Don't do that to us again, 17.
Wednesday night concert is also bananas. Anyway. So to wrap up this KCON discussion, any like points or big overarching theories or themes about this 10th year of KCON post-pandemic, like all not post after
As
the
Woozy
worst
said
of
during
it.
his concert, it's still happening. Yes, our post hiatus KCON. I don't know. I think what you said at the beginning of it, having this sort of sense of like renewal to it, definitely was there, especially with how like shiny and new like all of the corporate sponsors in the convention floor were, and the like big fancy stages, and the like super organized events of the ISAC booth, and the relay competitions, and the dream stages, and then even like the new groups, like the oldest group is from 2016, like so we talked about this before of how like it goes hand in hand with the globalization of K-pop, in that like because when we our first year at KCON, we saw Shiny and Turbo and Premise Night.
G-Friend was there, and like Zico was there by himself.
Yeah.
Dean was there that year.
So it was like a wide variety of idols from different generations. And this was like almost exclusively fourth gen, I think you could say pretty decisively. And it's because now, the second, third gen groups, like they can afford to go on their own
stadiums.
tour. Like,
they don't need to
17
come.
doesn't need to come to KCON anymore because they can sell out the Forum by themselves. So that was really interesting, and definitely I think the biggest change that I noticed. But it was really fun. I mean, I did miss the like weird merch booths of like the people that make their shit in the garage or whatever, and like aren't with an official company.
But to be fair, none of that stuff has been around since like 16, 17.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
And I get it, like with, copyrights and licensing and all that kind of stuff.
But I was also wondering aloud if KCON continues to like grow at this rate, if it will ever like come back around, because like thinking about Comic-Con, for example, which was a very like grassroots like fan thing, and then it became super corporate, like Marvel and Disney get like whole things and it's a very big deal. But they still have Artist Alley, where people who make their own stuff get to have little booths and sell things. And I'm sure they have to do a lot of legal loopholes to like make that shit work or something. But I wonder if KCON will ever come back around and we will get like the smaller. Because I remember in previous years, like YouTubers had booths on the convention floor, but also the convention floor itself was literally just folding tables and curtains. And now it was like the BB Go booth had 3 full standing like building facades, and the carpet matched, and like
it was crazy. And they used to just have like, I don't know, I remember one year we got like free Korean children's books.
Yes,
from,
because
like,
there was like a Korean cultural center
or something, or like and it's now very much like tailored to Hallyu, K-beauty, K-food, K-pop.
The CGV cinemas had like a whole like red carpet, like big old thing, and you could like go in this curtain and like watch clips of the movies, and it's all very like.
And I think there was like a section too with like right next to the KCON stage where they did the opening ceremony, where they had maybe like costumes or something from some of the dramas. There was like a big poster. I meant to go get a closer look at it, and then we got distracted and forgot. But it looked like it had like like some even like sea drama, like fantasy, like martial arts things, and I don't know. But there was just a bunch of stuff. But I just remembered something we forgot.
What's
that was
that?
New. The global auditions that were
happening. Oh my God,
yeah,
there were actual auditions. The company Wake one, and then also another season of Boys Planet were having auditions up in the meeting room.
All 3 days.
And when we first got there, as we were coming up the escalator, a very sweaty, excited boy was coming back down, and he was like, oh, they asked me to freestyle. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I was like ready to freestyle, but like, oh my God, he was glowing and he was so excited.
And he was like talking to his mom. Cool. It was really cute. It was great. That was really fun. And like when we talked to little Jed, I was like, oh, in a few years, that could be you in those auditions. But yeah, that was really cool. And that's definitely new. To have, but I think that makes sense, to have an audition set up at a place where you're going to be bringing people who know and care about K-pop. That was a smart move from those companies, I think.
Yeah, but overall, it was like a really fun weekend. I was so happy that like that KCON was back because it had been such an important part of my summer for so many years. And then we were like without it. And so it was just like, it was nice to be back.
Yeah.
And it's still, even though it was like different and fancier and flashier and like more idols and whatever, it still felt like KCON. And so I was just very grateful to attend. So thank you to CJ, ENM and Toyota and everybody who made
that
it possible. And with that, we'll be right back with a random game. All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us a band and flying.
Yes, which is short for new flying, which also means new wings or new escape. And this is a rap rock band formed by FNC Entertainment. They first debuted in Japan in 2013, and then they made their Korean debut in 2015, 2 years later, with an EP and a lead single called Awesome.
Yeah, we talked about them a little bit years and years ago in the K-pop bands episode that I did with my husband as a temporary co-host. But they are still around, still doing stuff. And there are currently 5 people in the band. The original bassist left and was replaced at some point. But they have a singer and who's a singer, rhythm guitarist and pianist, a lead guitarist, a drummer, a main vocal who only sings, and a bassist. So they've got all the pieces of the band.
They debuted as 4 and then added a 5th person, and then one of the original members left and was replaced. So they still have 5 people now, but a little bit of a change. They've released a lot of music so far. They have 2 studio albums, 1 Japanese, 1 Korean. They have 1 reissue, a single album, and they have, I believe, 7 EPs, and a whole list of Korean and Japanese singles as well.
So we are going to check out their most popular music video, which is from 3 years ago. It is called Rooftop and has 41 million views, which is a lot more views than their other videos. So I'm very curious. I'm always like, whenever a video is like weirdly way more popular, I'm always like, is there something spicy in this, or is it just like extra good, or why is it so much more popular? So I'm very curious. But if you would like to watch N Flying Rooftop with us, you can pull it up and press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we started with
this
drum.
song. I immediately remembered this song.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. They're on a rooftop.
Yes, they are on a rooftop, but there's just 4 of them? Oh, no, there's just 4. We've got a drummer, a guitarist, and 2 singers who are not playing instruments. And they're just playing on a rooftop. One of the singers has bright red hair, and the other one is wearing a very cool suede fringe jacket. When I was in elementary school, I did a project on Davy Crockett, and I wore a jacket
just like that.
And a little raccoon hat.
Okay,
one of these guys
and
is
they're
really tired from running.
Oh no, don't lay on the edge of that.
That makes me nervous.
Ooh, different mics. We've got lots of different mics going on here. Yeah, I remember this song.
I wonder why there's only 4 people in this.
Did someone have to go military?
Maybe.
This is from January 2019.
Probably.
Oh shit.
Oh, we're at night now.
December 18th, the bassist had to voluntarily take a break for inappropriate behavior online.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so this is before they replaced the bassist. That he never came back.
Okay.
Ooh, have to look into that another time. Yikes.
Oh, I found it. It says they made headlines. So this song helped them move past that controversy.
Oh, good. That's good.
The group saw public backlash and intense scrutiny when N-Flying's former bassist Kwon Jin became the center of controversy after multiple accusations, including sexual harassment, bad-mouthing his bandmates, and dating one of his fans, the latter of which is highly frowned upon in the K-pop industry. Kwon and his lawyer deny most of the allegations, deeming any sexual misconduct as outlandish. Kwon admitted to dating a fan and chose to depart the group permanently.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow. Well, that's why there's only 4 people. But they lost him like in the middle of rehearsals apparently, but went ahead and released this anyway. Oh, and this went to the top of the charts when it was the front man of the group, Lee Jae-don, wrote the song.
Oh, well, there you go. I really like this night vibe with all of these light bulbs on the stick. It like looks and smoke.
Ooh, yeah, that looks cool. I like them in all their sweaters too.
The guitarist kind of looks like is the TXT's name Subin? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Subin.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of looked like him. All right, the end. Yay.
Nice.
All right. It's weekly recommendation time, but I literally haven't like opened my computer or phone or breathed at all since like Tuesday. So I don't know if I have something to recommend today.
You know what? I actually do want to
good.
recommend something that we heard at the concert and I really liked. We're going to talk all about the concert in a minute, but I just have to remember who it was. Oh, yes. ENHYPEN did a song called Polaroid Love at the concert, and it was a very fun and cutesy bubblegum. It was very different from the other 2 songs that they performed, and it was really fun. I liked it a lot. So if you don't know a lot about ENHYPEN, which I do not at all, but I really liked Polaroid Love, so I am interested in listening to more and seeing if there are other fun B-sides that I might grab onto. So yeah, that's my rec from KCON.
There you go. That's perfect. That's good. All right. We'll wrap it up for now because we got to record a second episode for later in the week. And so since we're giving y'all so much content, let's wrap it up now. But if you want to get in contact with us, we can be found at AMAKPopPod on Twitter and Instagram, AMAKPopPod@gmail.com for emails. 181-AMAKPop5 is the number for voicemails and text messages. Again, y'all have been really good about that lately. I love it. Thank you. P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California, 90026 for actual mail and packages. Linktree/AMAKPop will take you to our YouTube, Spotify, and our Discord. You should join the Discord because they're like a whole little fandom of their own these days, and everyone is friends. And if you want a set of these stickers that we talked about, that's the place to get them. Mm-hmm. They're taking group orders or something for the stickers in the Discord. I don't know. The Discord is really y'all's thing, and it's fine. I'm glad. Run with it. Have your thing. But I don't really know what goes on in there. But go check it out because
there's a lot
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and the stickers in particular are very cute. I love the hashtag Let Idols Bang with protection and consent. That's really funny.
Yes, it's so good. There's my favorite one on the sticker sheet is there's a like shadowy picture of the 2 of us and I'm patting the seat next to us and it says, "Join us."
Yeah, it's based on a Simpsons meme. And I love it because it's us.
Because it's us. But yeah, that's it. And look forward to an extra episode this week telling you all about our night at the concert on Saturday. And then we will be back next week with 17 concert recap. Oh, and I'll say this on the show in case anybody can get it to us before we record. We sat behind the screens at 17. So we didn't see a single VCR. And I feel like our concert recap will be incomplete if we can't tell you what the VCRs were like. So if anybody did go and remembers what the VCRs were like, shoot us an email or a voicemail or whatever so that we can properly describe the 17 VCRs, please. All right, that's it. Thank you for listening. If you're a new listener that we met at KCON, thanks for checking the show out. And yeah, that's it. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.